All right, why everyone should Looksmax? This is biology explained. Listen, if you don't Looksmaxing, you're basically trying to play life on hard mode. It's absolutely stupid. It's one of the easiest things you can do right now and see the benefits within 5, 6 months. Dude, it's not even like a decade or something. Most great good things take a decade or so. This takes 6 to 8 months. Dude, I've done it. I've done it. And I see a crazy difference in how life feels and how people perceive you and how people actually treat you. All right. So let me get into this. This is biology explained, by the way. This is crucial. All right. So you gotta understand this. There are 8 billion people on this planet, right? 8 billion people, and they're all of them have basically on an unconscious level the same wiring. All right. So they have the same biology on an unconscious level. All right. So this a brain, by the way. So all these 8 billion people have a similar unconscious wiring. So if you understand it and use it in your favor, you're getting such an asymmetrical return. Think about it. Dude, 8 billion people will perceive you differently. 8 billion people will treat you differently. 8 billion people will have a different unconscious judgment about you. Dude, 8 billion. Every person you meet, all right? And you have to understand this. The human brain went through 5 billion, 5 billion years of biology, 5 billion years of evolution. Dude, 5 billion years of evolution shaped this brain. And you know what the number one thing was? The two most important things were survival, all right? That is the number one priority of our brain. The second most important thing is reproduction, all right? So once we are able to survive, we want to reproduce. Those two things shape everything. These two things are the fundamental truth about human existence, all right? Those two things shape everything we do. Doesn't matter what you think of, it has some correlation to these two things, okay? And you gotta understand this. This is fundamental, by the way. Health, okay, equals looks / attractiveness, all right? So the reason, this is not even, fuck it. Anyways, English is not my native tongue, but yeah. Anyways, so health equals looks. This is extremely important to understand. The reason somebody's attractive to you is because he has health cues, all right? The reason somebody's attractive is because he looks healthy to your unconscious mind. That's why the unconscious mind sends you these signals of, yo, this is an attractive mate, you should pursue it, or you should like it, or you should pay attention to it. That is what's happening on an unconscious level. That is what this brain does. That is why I'm saying understanding how this brain works and actually understanding biology is so important, because once you do, you have something I like to call biological leverage, all right? Biological leverage. This is a asymmetrical return you get for your input, all right? So now that we understand this, now that we understand the biological truth of it, you gotta understand the benefits of it. And by the way, I like the term lowest hanging fruit. The reason I like this term is because it describes Looksmaxing perfectly well. Looksmaxing is not a crazy investment. Yes, it takes time. Yes, you have to do some habit changes and all this stuff. But dude, the return on it is so fucking big. All right, bro. Even a millionaire is gonna respect you just for you being fit, healthy, and therefore attractive. All right. So the lowest hanging fruit. All right. What I mean by that is that you have a little input, all right? A little input, you get on your toes to grab the fruit, and then you get the benefit of the fruit, which is a crazy high output, all right? Dude, I've experienced it. I've been doing Looksmaxing for 6 to 8 months, and the way people treat me is completely different. Dude, there's such, I don't even, I sometimes sit there and think, how? Just the way I look changes these things, all right? The same people treat you completely differently just because of this, all right? This is what I like to call biological leverage. That's why you always, by the way, you should always look in all areas of life. You should look for pieces of leverage and lowest hanging fruits. But this is one of the most important that I've experienced that is so crazy powerful, okay? So with that in mind, also, let me just basically give you all the benefits that you have. People respect you more. People treat you different. People perceive you as more valuable, and also they're more likely to do business with you. They're more likely to actually stick with you. They're more likely to answer your phone. All of these things happen on an unconscious level. Why? Because people want to have interactions with healthy people. They don't want to have interaction with, think about it from a biological standpoint. You would want a strong dude, to talk to you. You would love to do business with the person is disciplined, with the person has self-control, self-respect. That is so deeply unconscious, but it works just so perfectly well in this today modern world, which is why you need to use that. And by the way, you know what's funny? Most people don't do it. Most people don't do it. Most people don't bother doing it. Why? Because they're lazy. All right, they're lazy. They don't have self-control. They're weak, and they don't do it. That makes it even more valuable, because if it's hard to acquire and so few people actually acquired it, that makes it even more valuable. Okay, that basically makes the reason to do it even stronger. All right, and by the way, I just mentioned all these external things, dude. You know what's internal? You know what's happening internal? You get more self-respect for yourself, you get more confidence, you have more energy to actually do the stuff that makes you money and does all of the rest that you care about. And these things happen as well. They're just for free, basically. Dude, think about it. These things are just a add-on on top. All of these things happen because of this. And let me know, obviously, another cool, nice benefit is the dating market. You're treated so differently by people, dude. It's crazy. I've experienced it. That is why I'm pushing this idea so much, because it's so powerful. It works wonders. All right. That is why I say Looksmaxing everyone should do, and this is biologically explained. All right. So yeah, the compound effect of all this is all these benefits, they compound. All right. They compound each other. All right. And what happens is you start winning big time. All right. That is what's happening. So the final message is Looksmaxing isn't just about, becoming somebody else. It's about basically reaching your biological or genetic potential. All right. So stop wasting potential. Stop letting your genetics go unfucking optimized, and just start winning, dude. That's it. That's a final message. Health equals looks. Never forget this, and start doing it. If you want more on Looksmaxing, let me know. Bye-bye.